How we all doing? Welcome back to my channel, Live From The End with Joey. In today's video, I don't know how long it's going to be, but we're going to be talking about the concept of time, okay? And what inspired me to make this video is actually a comment that showed up on my YouTube channel. I tried to go back to reply to the comment, but for whatever reason it wasn't there. I don't know if the person deleted the comment, but it's not showing up on my end. Anyways, the comment basically suggested that if you haven't received, your manifestations basically shouldn't take a year or longer. If it hasn't shown up within a month, you're not being consistent, you're doing it wrong, okay? I want to tell you why that's not true and why that's limiting, okay? Because there's a lot of people that are in this train of thought when it comes to this community based on what other people are teaching. This is not to bash these people. Everybody has their own way of going about it, but that's extremely limiting. Your manifestation will literally happen when it happens, okay? So number one, you're never going to know exactly down to a T when it's going to happen. In fact, I don't know of anybody that has ever taught this type of stuff that could sit there and tell you they knew down to a T when every single fucking conscious manifestation was going to happen. There's not a single person I know of that could tell you exactly when every single conscious manifestation they've ever conceived of that they knew when it was going to happen. Not a single one. I don't even think the late, great Neville Goddard could tell you exactly down to a T when it was going to happen. Okay, you may get little glimpses, like maybe of specific dates. You may manifest on a time crunch and it may just happen to happen, blah, blah, blah. But you never really know when it's going to happen. That's number one. And number two, guys, I know several people that have the assumption, that have the belief, the thought process, the dominant thought, the dominant feeling, whatever word you want to use here to describe this stuff of, hey, I can manifest anything instantly, yet sometimes it still takes time, myself included. I've trained myself to get along the idea of my manifestations happening now, very quickly, very easily, very effortlessly, yet sometimes it still takes time. Why is that? It goes back to the fact of you never knowing when it's going to happen. This is why it's so important to trust in knowing that it is happening now, or that it's going to happen, or that it's still happening, as opposed to focusing on, oh, if it's taking a month or if it's taking a year, that's too long, because you're focused on time. You're focused on time. It happens when it happens. You guys need to understand that, okay? So no, if you haven't received your manifestation within a certain duration of time, are you doing it wrong? Meaning if you haven't received it within 3 months, 1 month, a year, are you doing it wrong? Does every manifestation have to come in within a couple weeks to a month? The answer is no and no, okay? There are 2 reasons as to why your manifestation may not be here right now. And number one, you may be completely saturated in the inner knowing that this thing is not accessible to you, is not possible for you to experience, is not here for you now, it's not done, it's beyond you, it's separate of you. That basically falls in line into the concept of fear, because fear ties into doubt, worry, anxiety, overthinking, confusion, among many other things. And as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of people within this community that I've come across that are in that, they're in that way of thinking, that way of believing, assuming, whatever you want to call it here, whatever word you want to use here. But it's very rare that I find someone that is completely 100% oversaturating in the idea of the examples that I just gave above, such as it's not here, it's not done, etc. Now, that's number one. Number two, and by the way, there are no blocks, all right? So I don't want to hear it, all right? We create our realities. We select our realities. We don't have to assume anything along the lines of blocks, okay? Now, the second thing is that God is still rearranging whatever needs to be rearranged to get you the experience, okay? This infinite force within you that exists within you, that is you, that is connected to infinite possibilities, infinite realities, all happening simultaneously right now. That part of you knows exactly when the manifestation will come in. It knows exactly how it will come in. It knows exactly what you're going to be thinking in that moment of receiving that manifestation. It knows exactly how you'd be feeling in that moment of receiving that manifestation. It knows all, sees all, is all. Do you understand? That part of you is still rearranging whatever needs to be rearranged to get you the experience. You plant the seed of the desire fulfilled, You know, it starts consciously in a sense where you choose what you want to experience. Then you start doing the focus work consciously, such as scripting, visualizing, to get yourself to the point of accepting that that desire that you desire to manifest is done now, is here for you now. You've already received it. The subconscious has accepted it. That seed has been planted. Immediately, that subconscious will pass that manifestation along to God, and God will work its magic and move whatever needs to be moved. People will feel impulse after impulse, doing things, saying things, acting in specific ways, meeting certain people. You're going to feel impulses to do things, say things, act in specific ways, etc. And it's all part of the process leading you to that manifestation. Sometimes that can happen in a week. Like, it can literally happen in a week to where it comes into fruition. Sometimes it can take longer. Sometimes it can take a year or longer. But if you guys keep saturating your mind with, oh, that's too long. Like, if me saying what I'm saying is triggering you, is making you have thoughts such as, oh, I'm not waiting that long. That's too long. It shouldn't take that long. You're saturating with the idea of time in itself. You're focusing on time, and that is not what you should be focused on, because remember that little quote I've shared with you guys that I've created for my world. Where your energy goes, right? Where your energy goes and flows, things begin to grow until, boom, it shows. Basically, what I'm saying is what you focus on expands. That's what this whole game is about. This applies to everybody. What you focus on expands and grows. What you focus on expands and grows. So if you keep focusing on thoughts like, when is it going to happen? Oh, that's too long. I'm not waiting that long. I'm way too impatient for that. You're adding more time to the process, most likely, because that's where your focus is going. You're focused on the time itself and not the actual, it's done. I have it now. It's here for me now. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's it, man. This whole process is simple. It's simple. You get clear about what you want. You work your way up into the knowing that it's done. Then you live your life in that knowing. That's what living from the end is, by the way. But when you keep choosing, notice how I said choosing, key word there, to focus on, oh, where is it? When is it going to happen? That's too long. You keep making these ridiculous comments like the comment I saw earlier, such as, you know, it shouldn't take longer than a month, you know, a year, you're not being consistent. Throw it out the window, man. Because each time you focus on that, you're focusing on time, and you're most likely adding more time into the mix. And another thing, I know several people, myself included, where you're 100% consistent and doing everything you feel is the right thing to do for you, yet it still takes time. And it goes back to those 2 points that I made. Number one, you're either predominantly focused on the lack of this thing overall, the fear, or God is still rearranging whatever needs to be rearranged. And it's easy to know which side of the fence that you're on. You just need to check in with yourself. That's it. Just check in with yourself. Trust yourself. All right? So much love and peace. I'm intending that this helps you. If you enjoyed this, feel free to click that bell icon, like, comment, share. I would definitely be grateful. I feel like a lot of people deserve to be informed of this, okay? Now, of course, these are just my perceptions, my perspectives and whatnot, but, you know, I'm very confident in them, and I can speak about them in a very adamant and confident way, okay? So you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Stay safe, stay loved, and remember that you have the power to manifest anything you desire. Just stop stressing about the fucking time, man. Stop stressing about how it's going to happen, and just allow yourself and ease yourself into the knowing that it's done.